Good evening to you all. Online students, can you hear me? Please type in the chat window if any of you are not able to hear us. Very good evening. I hope, okay, thank you. So I think most of you have given your prelims or not yet, or are you freshers? Can you tell us a bit about where you are in your journey now? You've given your prelims, okay. Online? Are you like planning to give your prelims, or are you freshers, or you already gave prelims? Okay. Rohit, you have already given your prelims. Okay. So welcome to R.C.Reddy IAS Study Circle. And this program, Strategic Revision for Mains, has been very successful for the past few years. We have had many rankers, and also the value addition that was given in the program. Rankers, we have students, even Srikanth Reddy, who's selected for IAS. He was mentioning, that ma'am, I've given mains before multiple times, but I could not get the interview call because of my mains marks, and the value additions that were given in the SRM program really helped him. So there are many students who kind of have notes, or their notes is not consolidated. Multiple reasons why they feel their mains preparation is not up to the mark to be able to get the marks that they need to get an interview call or a final rank. So strategic revision for mains has been designed keeping these requirements of students in mind, basically to help you get consolidated notes for each GS paper, and whoever is teaching you or guiding you are UPSC rankers themselves, and our faculty who are taking up each of the subjects are all very experienced. So why do we bring rankers and experienced faculty is because mains, every half mark, 1 mark matters. So you should know how to prepare the notes. Sorry about that. Give us a few minutes. The generator will get on. One minute, just we'll get the online students also up. In the meanwhile, any questions? Have you given mains before, any of you? No? This would be, if you clear prelims, this would be your first mains, right? Okay. Any concerns right now? Do you have notes already? Did you prepare any notes? Not yet? Okay. Online చూడు. మనది ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఆన్ అవుతుందా జనరేటర్? మాన్యువల్ చేస్తున్నాడు. You can take this time to ask questions if you have any. So, did you make any notes for mains? Not yet? No? So, we have, I'll speak about it also. We have released our PYQs answers books. Okay, so I'll also speak about that. All the mains answers are there, segregated by syllabus. each syllabus line. So like I was just mentioning, mains preparation takes a lot of consolidated notes, understanding the demand of the question, how to write answers according to the demand of the question. So the notes part, what we found was many students did not have the notes that they need. That many people, they were still following, having a very large scale of like 400 pages for one subject, which is very huge. Why? Because you cannot revise that notes multiple times, and recollection also becomes very difficult during the exam, right? So keeping all this in mind, we have specifically designed a strategic revision course for civils, and also the SRM program for 2026. Those who are giving now, they can take the revision courses, and there is a simulation test for the students. And those who are planning, say you could not clear prelims now, or you have plans for 2027, we have a mission mains program where the revision classes are the same for mission mains, so that you will finish the entire revision now, and you will have like a schedule of tests and mentorship going up to November or end of December for this year, so that you are ready with your mains preparation for the next civil services exam, so that by the time you finish your November, December, basically your mission mains program will be done, your mains part is done by then you can focus on your prelims. So we'll have our high impact revision program start again for the next 2027. So our entire cycle has been planned in such a way that your preparation will go end to end, that there is no stone unturned where we have thought, okay, this part is not taken care of, that part is not taken care of. Everything is being taken care of, including current affairs, and all the value addition that you need to write for mains. So keeping the students' needs in mind, basically you might have read previous year questions, answers elsewhere. How many of you have books for those PYQs, mains PYQs, answers, books? So what we have seen, okay, Deepsika, your question is what is the strategy for note making, ma'am? Yeah, we'll go into that. One of our mentors and UPSC rankers, our faculty, they will take the question, Deepsika, about strategy for note making. So strategic revision, the name itself tells you that there is a strategy behind note making. There's a strategy behind how you understand the demand of the question, how should you write. All these aspects will be covered in the program. So the previous year questions for mains, right, from the year 2013 to 2025, all the previous year questions for GS 1, 2, 3 and 4 papers, we have gotten the answers written by experts, and some of them are rankers themselves, and they have been vigorously checked by our mentors and rankers who are faculty themselves, and you can see handwritten answers in them. So see, what happens is many students, when they read a PYQ answer, it's in a type format, right? And they think, ma'am, how do I present it in the actual paper? So these gaps will also be filled because we have handwritten answers for the PYQs inside the book for few of them, and also video explanations, where if you scan the QR in the book, you will see the video explanation of that particular PYQ. So why have we brought in these books is because the books that are in the market have a lot of words, they're not even following the word limit with the printed versions. Imagine if the printed versions have so much of dumping of content in it, how can the student understand what should I take from this and how do I write? So we wanted to fill that gap, right? And these books, our GS4 book is printed and ready. In the next 2 days, we'll have our GS1, 2, 3 books also released. So students who join strategic revision for mains and mission mains programs, these books will be given to you, the PYQs, answers books. And in the sessions, the strategy as to how to brainstorm, how to understand the demand of the question. You'll have in-class answer writing also in the class, so that Apart from the themes and topics covered, the faculty will give you one-page notes to help you understand, how to consolidate all those aspects and how to answer the question in the given space and time. So it is a very targeted program. It's not like teaching you from the fundamentals. This is more about teaching you how to strategize your answer writing for mains, right? So Yashika, you have a question, ma'am. How much of writing practice is needed and enough for a day until mains exam? So Yashika, all that will be covered in the session right now. This program, we will give you the schedule also. Every day is planned, so there's nothing left to chance here. We have planned every day to help you get the precise notes that you need. And like I said, you have the PYQs books also in your hand. So what happens is students have a lot of content, but they don't take time to practice. If you don't practice, you will not be able to write in the exam. So that's why, as a part of the class, we have session time for in-class answer writing practice also. That is, you will be writing a 10 marker and a 15 marker every day in class, apart from the faculty mentors helping you with the note making or helping you with the one pagers, giving you value addition and consolidation and all those aspects. So the program, we also have free answer writing sessions on 8th, 9th and 10th of June from 11 to 1 p.m. in our Ashok Nagar branch. You can attend those sessions as well. But 11th of June, the program starts. That is strategic revision for mains, starts on 11th of June with the essay. Shilpa Bhatti ma'am, who's a UPSC ranker herself, she will take the session, and the next sessions are all planned. Gautam sir will give you the schedule. He'll show you how that will pan out. So the way we've planned it is, we will not be taking the entire time of your preparation, because we understand that mains is coming close, right? And we will be giving you'll have 2.5 hour sessions, and we will be giving you time also to prepare, and you can come back and ask questions. The mentors will be available for you to ask any questions that you may have. But the goal of the program is to help you master answer writing so that you get maximum marks in mains. Okay, so if you have any questions after listening to the session also, I'm here, you can ask. Anita, for APPSC SRM, we have a separate orientation on the 13th, right? 14th. On the 14th of June, we have a separate strategic revision for mains for AP Group 1. We have that separately. We will give you the schedule of that as well. This is for civil services. Civil services mains. Those who are writing for 2026, strategic revision for mains 2026, and those who are giving 2027, it's mission mains 2027. Okay. So I'll have Shilpa ma'am speak to you, and then Gautam sir will also give you a little more context and schedule. Okay.
Continuing from where ma'am was talking about our programs, I'll just give you a brief overview. So see, right now, there are two possible scenarios. People who have given prelims, one group will be who are getting comfortable marks, say from 75 to 85 marks, they will be giving mains. And the second scenario will be there are people who unfortunately are not able to get the expected cutoff right now, right? We don't know what will be but obviously you can predict a range that from 75 to 80 or probably 85 will be the range. So there will be two people here. Now you might be following in one of these categories. Now if you are clearing comfortably, there is absolutely no question, you have to prepare for mains. Then there is a second group where you are not clearing prelims, but you have to ask yourself a question that even if I'm not clearing the prelim, this is not my last attempt. In fact, take it as a blessing in disguise that even if I'm not clearing prelims, now I have time to focus single-handedly on my mains preparation. because this exam is not just like you clear prelims and then you get a rank. You have prelims, then you write mains. In mains, you need to have a specific answer writing skills. You get marks there, then you get an interview call, and then you get the rank. So even if you're clearing prelims or you're not clearing prelims, both of you, like both the categories of these aspirants, they have to prepare for mains. Only difference is that the people who are giving mains in 2026, they have limited time, but still these people have to revise and they have to write answers. Then next category will be giving 2027 exam. They have more time, right? Say from June till December, you have time to prepare for your mains. I'm not talking about program, I'm just talking about the time you have, right? And plus you also have to write answers and do the revision. So now one thing is very clear, that whatever category you fall in, you have to prepare for mains. And the best time and the right time is right now. Now, keeping these things in mind, we have prepared two programs here. One is Strategic Revision Mains program. So this is one program, and second program is Mission Mains program. Now, for both of these programs, the structure is in such a manner that you will have revision classes. Classes where, according to the syllabus, in a very crisp, concise manner, we will be revising your mains material, because you have, studied before prelim, you are not done your classes probably 1 year ago. So you are out of touch of these. So we will be revising, and these classes will have a very peculiar USP, that we will be focusing on your PYQ themes. We will be focusing on answer writing in class. And thirdly, there will be mentorship. One-to-one mentorship will be there, right? So the program has been designed in this manner that no matter what is your requirement, you have both the programs. And now both the programs, they will be having lectures which are starting from 11th June and up to August. 5th August, we will revise the entire syllabus, PYQ themes, mentorship will be there. Now, it's your choice. You are going for the strategic revision program or you are going for mission mains program. Now, when we are talking about, see, this strategic thing, you have to remember, general English meaning of strategic is that you have some plans, certain framework to achieve a goal. So now these classes are not your regular classes. These are very much exam oriented. So even when lectures are going on, we will be focusing on the most important skill, answer writing, how to introduce the answer, how to conclude the answer, which value addition points should be needed. We want that through these classes, you think, structure and deliver like a ranker. You no longer remain a confused, right, directionless aspirant, that my prelim is not done, what next? What should I be doing? Because see, if you keep on doing the same things again and again and expect a different result, you're doing it all the way wrong. You have to do something different now, especially if you didn't clear prelim. Just leave it aside, what is done, and it's done and dusted. You cannot do anything about it now. What next now? You have to make sure that the next year when you clear prelim, you're not in the same position. You're not similarly clueless or directionless, like, oh, I didn't prepare for mains, I didn't write a single answer, I didn't revise, what should I do? And you have just 3 months. So if you are not clearing prelims, this is the best time to start. And if you are clearing prelims, this is a golden time. Why? Because with a class of 2.5 hours, we will revise everything. We are not overburdening you that in the morning there will be class, in the afternoon there will be class, for 8 hours you just come here. No, we recognize the fact that if you are giving mains, you don't have enough time. You want somebody to just push in your preparation, somebody to add in your preparation, and rest you can do the self-study. So classes have been devised in this manner that in class, whatever knowledge you gather will be more than sufficient when you go back and revise and write an answer. When we are talking about mains or even about this whole, journey, it's never the failure of knowledge. It is the failure of strategy. You're not able to visualize your journey, that what should be my weekly schedule, what should be my monthly schedule, when should I start writing answers, who is checking my answers, because here mentorship, the mentors will be there. You have a test component in both the programs. Because if June to December you are just in this particular, sadness that I didn't clear prelim, next year the same thing will get repeated. And right now you need somebody to, certain kind of hand holding exercise is needing. We will hold your hands, we will make you revise things. And one of the important thing of these, program, whatever program we launch, is accountability. We assess you, we'll be giving assessment sheets, that this is your level of answer, this is how you have to improve yourself, this is your strength points. So that next year, once you come out of the prelim examination hall, you're very confident. Now I have 2.5, 3 months. I will write the best mains of my life, because last year you already did it. And if you're giving mains this year, you know that I have revised in the best possible manner. I have written answers and got it checked from somebody who is a ranker, who knows what works in UPSC and what does not work. We're not leaving anything to speculation, or we will see, or let's see this pattern of writing. No, we are giving you something which is tried and tested. We are giving you which is known as a filtered knowledge. Right? So when, I will be taking up your classes for both the programs, will start with essay and ethics. Because we realize these are the two areas. Today, just go back and check the mark lists of toppers, last 3 years or even the recent year. All of them have a good score in essay as well as ethics, and optional also. These 3 areas are the main areas where you can maximize your score. Essay nobody takes care of. We are starting with essay. Because it's 250 marks, it is equivalent to any GS paper or any paper of optional. But it is not covered anywhere. Essay is usually given a very, stepchild kind of behavior, that okay, we'll do it after the end, or we'll do it in 10 days, we'll do it in probably in the last time. No, it's a skill. You have to develop that skill. We've given proper classes for this. And in the class, because see, essay is something I will tell you, okay, this is the structure, this is how you write an essay. But after that, how to see if you are following those things. In class, we will have brainstorming sessions for essays. Everybody will participate. And then I will be telling you that, okay, whatever brainstorming you have done, this part is right, this you have to think in this manner, or probably you'll have to add some other dimension. When I will cover ethics. It will be not just covering the theory part. I have divided the lectures where I tell you that, okay, quote based questions come, right? There are, every year there are quote based questions. How to attempt the quote based? Quote is something which they can ask any quote in the world. Anything under the sun can come. Any random quote will come. Is there a pattern, or is there a framework that no matter which quote do they ask a quote by Mahatma Gandhi, they ask a quote by Aristotle, or they ask a quote by Thiruvalluvar, any random quote, I will help you create that structure, that framework, that no matter which quote comes, you will be able to write an answer. And that is how you prepare for mains. Mains is not about just, picking up different random books and just reading it. Reading is not enough. Strategy is important. Because you cannot cover every quote in the entire world. You cannot. But you can learn that once a quote is there in the examination paper, how do I structure it? How do I start my answer? What type of examples I write down? Probably I can draw a diagram here. Probably I can include a particular example from mythology, from real life, from newspaper, from current affairs. So you have to understand this one fact, that when we are talking about strategic revision mains classes or mission mains classes, it's not your regular classes that I'll come and teach on the board and go away. Anyhow, in the PCM also, we don't do that. It's an interactive session. It is to boost your marks. It is to help you understand how to write answer. It is to help you think like a ranker, structure answer like a ranker, and then ultimately you become the ranker. Because we understand right now, notes are scattered, right? Your notes are here and there, they're not complete. Your preparation is directionless. Answer writing, you keep on procrastinating. Tomorrow I'll do, probably day after tomorrow, I'll do it on Sunday, or I'll do it after 1 week, and that day never comes. So in the strategic revision mains classes or mission mains classes, answer writing is there in the class. A timer will be there on the board. You will be given that, okay, you're sitting here, write down whatever you have understood from the class. And it's not a way to judge you or say this is the most worst answer I've seen. No. It is there so that you give up that fear. You pick up the pen and write something, and then you improve. Because see, improvement comes not by just thinking. Have to write an answer. We here, every faculty believes that our job as a teacher completes, or it is completed only when our students write an answer. It's not just limited to that. I talk about concept of emotional intelligence. You understand it very well. You understand every aspects of emotional intelligence. My job doesn't end here. My job will be complete when I give you a question on emotional intelligence and you are able to write a well structured answer. And that is what is, our entire, you can say, theme around these programs. Answer writing. No matter how many books you read, how many notes you gather, till the time you're not able to write an answer, you're not a serious aspirant. Treat this time as that you are a little ahead of people who have still not started with mains preparation, who are still attending PCM classes for 2027. I've done my PCM. Now I want to refine my answer writing skill. See, answer writing skill, I always say, it's a refinement process. It's not a one-day job that one day I will write introduction, body, conclusion on the board, and next day you will write the answer. No, it takes time. And we are telling this from our personal experience, that it took time for us. Whatever we are giving you, it's a filtered knowledge. We learned it through the years that yes, this is how you write an answer, this is how you make notes. So don't treat it as any other classes or something. When we have added the word strategic, means we have a proper plan, strategy in mind for you. We have tailor made this entire program so that you can understand the nuances of answer writing. You can understand how to use previous year questions. Anyhow, these books, previous year question, all the model answers, right? They're given here, right? And in fact, every section will have a handwritten answer also, right? This answer I have written, and there is a QR code here where there is a video explanation also. So even when you get back home, you have something to read from. So we have created the program with the locus, with the center point, with the epicenter of answer writing, because that is what which will help you. Nothing else will help you. Your mains marks are dependent upon your mains things, right? So before the program starts on 11th, sir, it starts on 11th. So 11th will be the first class, but before that we have certain, you can say, precursor to this program on 8th, 9th, 10th, like ma'am was telling. We have free classes for your answer writing, general structure, how to do it. And from 11th, the classes will start. Now these 8, 9, 10th classes will be there in Ashok Nagar, and from 11th classes will be here from in the afternoon, in the around 2:30 p.m. Right? So rest, whatever, how the classes will go on, what is the entire features of these programs and other things, Gautam sir will continue. So try to attend that free sessions on answer writing starting from 8th, and 11th we start all this process. And trust me, once it gets over in August, you will be very confident about your answer writing. Otherwise, see, if you are doing a preparation in directionless way, that you're just sitting at home, there's no accountability, once a week you write one answer, it doesn't work that way. In fact, if I see the entire thing program, it gets over in August, right? There will be tests also in between, right? For mission mains, the tests are a little longer because you are giving in the next year, the entire schedule you'll get. But after that, you have time for self-study also. Program includes answer writing, you give the tests also, you write in class also, and then you have months left also. Again, you do a second revision. So in this way, you will be guided to complete the syllabus even twice. First here in the classes and next self-study. And then in December, you close your book and start preparing for your prelims in a very clear manner, that now my mains is done and dusted. I have completed everything. Now let me focus on prelim, because right now you cannot start preparing for prelim, honestly. Even if you are feeling sad that, okay, I am not able to clear prelim preparation will start from January only. We cannot start right now. Mains has to be done. Because after prelim, you will not get time. If you are giving 1 year for prelim preparation, what about mains? Right? So anyhow, so this is the entire theme of our program, our intention behind the program, that it's not any regular classroom teaching. It is a plan designed in a very strategic manner to include the most important component of your exam, that is answer writing, including the previous year question themes. And we are giving a booklet also where every from 2013 every previous year question has been solved, right? So see you from 8th, and then from 11th I will be starting with essay, and then we'll continue to ethics and other papers, right? Thank you so much. Anybody from the online session has any question, please ask. any administrative thing, what is the fee and all these things, you can ask downstairs, right? Rest, sir will continue now. Thank you.
Am I audible? Yes. Right. So, good evening. I think most of you have written prelims, and we have 3-4 sections of people who are existing here, right? Especially after prelims 2026. Somebody who wants to stop preparing for UPSC is one section which is strangely emerging, right? And say they're shifting for plan B. And I don't think any of you belong to this section, because if you're sitting in class, this is not what we are for. The second section is somebody who wants to do plan B first and then come back to UPSC, saying that we will be much stronger when we come back for civil services. So I don't think any of us are also belonging to this, because if it was first plan B, then you should not be present here again. So this is also ruled out. Now there is somebody who is writing mains 2026, and there is somebody who is planning to write mains. I'm sorry to use the word planning, who is hoping to write mains 2027, right? So this is one particular section where we are going to address today. In fact, for next 2.5 months, we are going to focus upon this particular section. Now, when we talk about some basic analysis, what has been going on with respect to civil services mains, I'll come to the linkage with prelims little later, but when we look at the overall analysis in general with respect to GS, what have we been seeing is something strange happening with essay, because for the first time last year I have seen 40s in essay, I have seen 60s in essay, 70s was common even till last year. I don't say that's strange, but what is more strange in 40s in essay? And what has been the range with respect to essay? I was just going through something. It is around 138 to 140. So what do we see? The problem with the 70 is not with somebody who has scored less in other papers, but this is with somebody who has scored more in other papers. Now, in fact, if I have to tell you, I have seen a mark sheet with 296 in mathematics optional and getting 60 in essay and not getting an interview call. Now, what is fundamentally happening? If you observe all of these trends, essay is going to make or break your interview call first. The second thing that you have to observe here is GS1. In GS1, what has been the range in general for somebody to get an interview call? The safe bid has been 100. Now, somebody who would want to get top 100, somebody who would want to get a rank might transition to 110 plus is what is GS1. Now, in GS1 also, one common area which people are struggling with is geography and society. I am not telling history because everybody struggles with history except history optional people. For example, if you look at last year question paper, we see a question on Chandela. Now, what do we know about Chandela apart from Khajuraho? Now, it is up to me to manage that crisis of Chandela and writing Khajuraho for 10 marks. Now, what am I going to do with that? It's an art. So, history anyway is a grey zone for everybody, be it prelims, be it mains. That is what is my fundamental assumption, apart from somebody who has history as an optional. Now, what is seen to be happening with geography and what is seen to be happening with society? I am not talking about somebody who is having anthropology or sociology as an optional with society because they are comfortable. Or I am not talking about geography as an optional for somebody who is writing geography. For somebody who is generally belonging to non-geography, non-anthro, non-socio, these two subjects have become little troublesome for a reason that one, these are extremely conceptual, and these are the ones which are going to demand a lot of relevance when it comes to writing. For example, last year we had one question in geography with respect to onshore and offshore oil mining and the comparison they have asked, or oil reserves per se. Or there was one more question which was present with respect to the utility of remote sensing, utility of GIS in urban planning. Now, most of us will come out of the exam hall and say that all of these are out of syllabus. But sustainable urbanization will definitely demand an integration of technology into urban planning. And in that particular process, UPSC would have definitely picked up the question, because urbanization, along with that, you see problems, measures, solutions for urbanization. So in that, they would have extrapolated the question. Now, what is happening in these questions is we do not have a clear-cut answer to be written. And major problem again is somewhere in these two subjects we are failing to understand the demand. So what is happening? Again, we are landing with 70, 80 in GS1. Now, when it comes to GS2 again, most of us somehow pull off 90 plus in GS2. That's an average bid. But what is seen in general with respect to GS2, somebody touching 110 to 130 is a range with respect to GS2. Now, who is touching this range? Mostly PSIR people. But strangely, last year the highest scorer of GS2 was not PSIR. Now, what is happening with this? Now, again, one troublesome area in this particular region is IR. Most of us again fail to understand the demand of the question with respect to IR, because we consider this as a very superficial subject. We don't have anything concrete to write IR. The second area which is troubling this particular paper is governance. Now, why governance? Now, whatever, suppose there was one question on e-governance last year. They were asking about integrated public service delivery model. Now, all of us started writing on e-governance but never addressed that integrated public service delivery model. So, what has been happening again? We fail to understand the demand with respect to these two subjects in GS2. Now, GS3, strange trends again. Average score has been 75 to 85. I would in fact consider you to have a safe bid of 85. If you are getting 85, it is a good score per se with respect to GS3. Last year we had 108 being highest with respect to GS3, but that's fine. I don't want to target 100 at all in GS3. If it comes, it comes, but my target is nothing less than 90 with respect to GS3. What's happening with this? Majorly with respect to multiple subjects in the same paper, one. The second aspect is non-specificity in the context of something like disaster management, environment, and science and technology. Anything can be asked as part of this, because this is one section which is not sticking to the syllabus. When you look at overall mains GS, these are the three subjects which UPSC deviates from the syllabus. It can ask you Ramsar, it can ask you integrated wetland management, it can ask you Chandrayaan, it can ask you anything from these sections. What is more syllabus specific in GS3 is economy and internal security. Now, you might be wondering that why am I talking about all of this? Now, please understand that whenever we are talking about mains examination, mains is not just dumping of content. Just like how prelims was just ticking some objectives, just choosing some options, mains is not the same. Mains is all about what? How am I going to approach a particular paper to maximize my score in that paper? At the end of the day, what is my target, my dear? It is something like 400 plus in my GS. Right? 400 plus in my GS is what is going to make me into the list. Now, for this 400 plus, I need certain mandatory aspects. I did not speak about GS4 for a reason that ma'am spoke about it. One. The second aspect is, again, most of us are thinking GS4, if I cross 100, that is sufficient. No, my dear, GS4 range is now 120. For some reasons, we have decoded the questions of GS4 and we know what is going to come at which stage. And the range is 120, and people have even transcended up to 140 in GS4. Now, there are very few subjects where we can get more than 50%. In civil services, one is ethics, the other one is GS2, the other one is optional. Now, I don't want to keep essay here to score more than 50% because it has become little risky, right? Forget about 50%. If I am crossing 100 plus and not losing my interview call is more than sufficient with respect to essay. I am just putting on a safe side play with respect to essay. But these are the three areas where I can definitely cross 50% of my marks. So what is your focus at this particular juncture is how am I going to get that optimized marks with respect to GS1, and in case wherever I can maximize, how can I maximize, for which I need certain things. One, I need to have a clear-cut grip on my syllabus. Now, for example, this year in prelims examination, people were telling that questions were asked from ethics. But we failed to see the syllabus. In the syllabus, it was mentioned public policy. Now, all those questions which were coming so-called ethics was not ethics, it was public policy. Now, what is demanded at this particular point of time? A clear-cut grip on the syllabus. Now, when I say syllabus, syllabus is important for you to identify areas of importance. One. Syllabus is important for you to structure your answer. This is one very, very important fact most of us miss. And why do I say most of our structure should be derived from the syllabus is very simple. The only document which is common between you and examiner is the syllabus copy. Right? Can you be sure that examiner is reading Lakshmikant, or sorry for the loss of Subhash Kashyap, but are you sure about whether examiner is reading these books, D.D. Basu or Subhash Kashyap or Lakshmikant? No. But only common thing that is present between you and examiner is what? Syllabus. And if I am able to derive my structuring of the answer from the syllabus, I am keeping something within the ambit of the examiner. That's one very, very important aspect that you need to remember. The second aspect that you need to have is what? Notes. Now, this is a $1 million question to many people where, sir, I start writing notes, but I start rewriting the book altogether again. Or one more question is, sir, if the source that I am referring is 1000 pages, I will write a notes of 500 pages. 500 pages notes ane anrayada. Right? 500 pages is not notes, it is some scripture that you have written. So what is the fundamental aspect here is notes has to be concise. Now, what is strategic revision going to do? Strategic revision is going to address the first part, which is the syllabus derived structures. For every topic of the syllabus, we have certain microstructuring which goes on. Now, for suppose, ma'am was talking about code-based questions. Now, when you look at code-based questions, for all of us, code-based question is a problematic area whenever we are writing, because you see every year we have code-based questions. Especially question number 3A, 3B, 3C are code-based. And most of us take more than 6 minutes to write this answer. Let me tell you, my dear, if you have a microstructure for this code-based questions, it is hardly a 4-minute answer. I am not telling you hawa mein. I am telling you after writing those things not once but 6 times, it is a 4-minute answer provided you have microstructure. For example, if I have to tell you one simple aspect of that, you will open the quote, you will describe the quote, you will counter the quote, you will substantiate the quote. This is one side, 4 paragraphs. The next paragraph, the next page is what? I will say what is the application of the quote with respect to individual, with respect to society, with respect to administration. Rendent point lante. I have filled my second side almost 3/4 and last may conclude kar do. Now, if I don't have this microstructure when I am writing a question, it's going to be a problem. Now, for suppose you might be writing GS1, you might be writing GS2. Now, for suppose if I say, if I randomly ask you, examine the impact of climate change on Indian agriculture. Or if I randomly ask you, examine the impact of climate change on the groundwater scenario of India. Now what you start operating upon? You start operating upon some random things which is going to come to your head. And most of the times what you think is that whatever notes I have written is not same as the question that is being asked. Now please understand, my dear, note making is not just again rewriting the content. One, you should have concise notes. Again, this is what this should be, topic specific, which is oriented around syllabus. The second aspect of note should be what? You should have the respective structures for every topic that is written. Now for suppose if I am talking about water resources, I have a structure. If I am talking about agriculture, I have a structure. If I am talking about ecosystem, I have a structure. If I am talking about biotechnology, I have a structure. Now what is fundamentally happening? If I am talking about extremism, I have a structure. Having those microstructures are very, very important. Why is this important? One, it simplifies my business of revision. All that I will have to do when I have a microstructure is what? I will have to remember the microstructure, points would flow automatically. One. Two, it enables me to prioritize when I'm writing my answer. Because what is a bigger problem in MAINS answer writing is, at the instance, we have a very short response time. And when we have that short response time, what do? We again simply start dumping whatever comes to my mind first. And always remember, my memory will only remember something which is very superficial, not in depth. That is why most of the times when you are writing your answers, when people are giving comments, they will say your content is superficial, conclusion is inconclusive, introduction is too elaborate, you are not meeting the demand of the question. These are very common comments that you come across when you are writing an answer and when your answer is being evaluated. So what is the fundamental aspect is having those microstructures are important when it comes to notes as well as answer writing. The third thing that you will have to understand here is value addition. Now for some reason this has been given a lot of hype, right? Now I always keep telling that it might sound very funny, but I always keep criticizing this aspect of value addition. Now people overemphasize on value addition and demand more marks. Now my question to you is, we are writing an answer, one. Now whatever I am writing is my basic content. Now this basic content is going to give some value to the answer. If I add something extra to this, then I am calling it as value addition. That means, is my value addition worth 10 marks in a 10 marker? Or is it worth 1 mark in a 10 marker? It is worth 1 mark in a 10 marker. Now just imagine whole of my notes is on data. It is appearing like an economic survey that I am writing in the answer. Whole of my notes is on graphs, whole of my notes is on some reports, whole of my notes is on some examples. Now please understand, my notes should automatically have some basic content. Now when I'm writing on urbanization, I need those 6-7 points on urbanization any given day. What's my value addition in urbanization? That one particular graph which is given by UN Habitat report, which says that it's going to reach 50% by 2040, that is one graph. The second thing that you can show with respect to urbanization is the position or the places where you have slums. Especially when there is a specific question on slum, you can show that. The other value addition could be a map on urban disasters in case if they club the concept of urbanization with disasters in GS1. So what is observed here, that I need those 2-3 aspects which are supposed to be added when I am writing an answer. And please understand, value addition is not question specific, but rather value addition is topic specific. Now when I said topic specific, now what is the value addition for poverty? I know my basic understanding of poverty, 21.9%. I know revision of the poverty line by World Bank, that is around $1.95 or some revision that has happened. The third aspect that I would know is multidimensional poverty index, where I see more than 400 million Indians have been brought out of multidimensional poverty. The fourth aspect that I would know is with respect to what, that India has 15.6% of the people still multidimensionally poor. And I will show the hotspots with respect to poverty in the context of India, where my northern belt and northeastern belt have greater incidence of poverty compared to my southern India, because that is what is converging with Human Development Index. That's all. Now, any question on poverty, I'm going to dump in this. Now, if you ask me, what is the value addition for wetlands? My value addition for wetlands, 100th Ramsar site. Now, you see that meme going viral with Virat Kohli's photo, Niche and Upar 100th Ramsar site. Now, we have 100 Ramsar sites. Now, we have over 5% of my geographical area covered with Ramsar sites. That's there. And 30% of my wetlands are seen to be degraded in last 3 decades. I will have a small map which is representing my Ramsar sites. Now, what more value addition do I need? Now, for suppose if I am talking about water resources, the maximum value addition that I would require about water resources is what? Whether with respect to surface water, whether with respect to groundwater. Surface water, in the context of surface water, I know 6% of the GDP is lost because of water pollution. And I know more than 20 million of Indians are experiencing waterborne diseases. And I would also know that more than 6% of the people would experience waterlessness condition by 2030. And I also know what is the present per capita availability of water, that is around 1300 or 1400 cc. What was the availability once upon a time? 5200 cc. Now that means we are present between 1700 cc to 1000 cc, which is a condition from water stress to, water deficit condition we are transitioning. That's one small area. Now when it comes to groundwater, what is my data? I say that India is the largest extractor with 26% of it being extracted. 90% of groundwater that is extracted is for agriculture. I will show the hotspots where I find arsenic pollution, where I find uranium pollution with respect to groundwater. What more do I need? Now you name agriculture, what is the value addition that I need? I know the map for millets. I know the map for pulses. I know the map for animal husbandry. I know the map for plantation crops in India, basic. And I know the map for textile crops. Because these are the 5 areas where I find my questions coming. Now from there, if I have to transition towards with respect to agriculture value addition, all that I know is what is the value addition in pre-agriculture, during agriculture, post-agriculture. In pre-agriculture, I definitely know because of the land fragmentation, I see land area is decreasing from 1.15 hectares to 1.08 hectares. I see more than 80% of the farming community is what? Agriculture laborers. I see the irrigation efficiency in the context of India is 33%. By usage of micro irrigation, it's going to enhance by 30%. I'm going to save my energy by 30%. Now you might think sir has just by-hearted all of this, so he's vomiting it out. No. You fundamentally have to understand this is what is value addition meaning. Value addition should add value to my existing value in the answer. And if I know that, that's more than sufficient, and we definitely know what to be done with respect to every topic at each stage. And value addition will vary according to the subject, according to the topic, according to the paper. Now, if I'm writing value addition of disaster in GS1, it will be different. If I'm writing the same on GS3, it will be different. So, what is to be understood at the end of the day when it comes to mains preparation, be it 26, be it 27? It is these 3 areas am I addressing or not? And more importantly, if I have addressed all of this, that is going to create my basic fodder. I will have to dump this fodder in my answers. But before transitioning to this writing or dumping this in the answer, one area which you cannot neglect is PYQs. Now people say no questions will come from PYQs. Do you think UPSC is a fool to ask a question on PYQ? No, my dear. PYQ is any given day the holy source for us to write mains. And if I have to put it bluntly, you write all of your PYQs, most of your main syllabus will be covered. But the problem here is patiently sitting and writing all PYQs. We would have traveled for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years in our journey of civil services, but we would have never written PYQs completely. Everybody says, everybody listens, but the problem with PYQ is there's a lot of resistance in sitting and writing PYQs. And PYQs from 2013 till 2025. Now, what is happening from the side of the student is, sir, I have ready-made things. I have ready-made material. Fantastic. We have ready-made material. We are also going to give you ready-made material upon PYQs. But the bigger concern here is going to be that people have written these PYQ answers in a different environment. Be it the book authors, be it the experts, be it the rankers. Now we are this side of the shore and you are the ones who are going to swim. Now in this process, if you don't learn the art of swimming, that particular aspect of answer writing, there is a problem. Because at the end of the day, I always say mains examination is an examination of limits. Limits with respect to space, limits with respect to time, limits with respect to structuring, limits with respect to knowledge, limits with respect to execution, and more importantly, limits with respect to energy. Na దగ్గర ఉండదు energy. You will understand that when you are writing GS4. Your body will be saggy, hands will be dripping, but still you will have to finish the paper of ethics with utmost ethicality. Now in that particular context, what happens? Now you cannot leave some loose ends in ethics paper, because if examiner anywhere feels that you are unethical in your approach, he will ensure that you write next year's ethics paper again. That is a trend that they follow. That is the thing that they would ought to do at any cost. Now when we are running on so many limits in the context of mains examination, please remember, my answer writing doesn't happen in the exam hall, it happens outside exam hall. And when I say outside exam hall, I am ready with my basic content, which is covering these aspects. I am ready with my PYQs, which is going to give me the basic structuring, basic dimensional analysis of different topics. And more importantly, you should also have some practice of tests. Right? Now, some people will have this habit of preparing too much and not writing test at all. You remember I was talking that case of 296 in optional and 60. Now that person has never written GS test. Now I cannot call it as overconfidence, but I would say that is like wasting an opportunity that we have. Now just imagine he would have got 100 at least in essay. He would have beautifully had at least, he missed the mains cutoff by 2 marks. Ab maan lo 2 marks, 60 in essay, so he would have got how much? At least plus 40. Now plus 40, you would have got interview call, probably you would have done fantastic in interview, you would have got IAS. You never know. You never know, because now you cannot tell me that I will definitely get 296 again in optional. I may get 280, no doubt, but can I be very sure that I'll get 296? I cannot be. That is the game of it, that is the inherent aspect of it. So what I would like to tell you is that all of these are important for mains examination, and we are going to do all of these aspects as part of strategic revision. Now when I have to talk about what is going to be strategic revision, we would have a session of 2.5 hours. Each session is 2.5 hours, one. In this 2.5 hours, for around 2 hours, we have the lecture. Now lecture here, I am sorry to use the word, that we are not going to lecture you, rather we are going to tell you upon what is the content, what is the topic, what is the coverage. And please understand that we will not even have so many link words which are spoken in the sessions. Now if you listen to my lecture, I am using a lot of filler words. But when we are going to take this session, using these filler words, we feel waste of time. So we skip those filler words even in our sessions during strategic revision. At the end of the day, what is the topic? What are the, now if I am covering this for suppose say, in this topic, what are the probable introductions? What are the probable conclusions for this topic? I am fixing up that already, because I already told you none of these are question specific, these are topic specific. If I am going question specific, I can never finish my mains paper at any cost. We will talk about different intros and conclusions for that respective topic. Then we would look at what kind of micro structuring can happen with respect to that particular topic. And we would give basic dimensional analysis. Dimensional analysis here is because at the end of the day, there are certain mandatory points to be written in the answer of a particular topic. At any cost, we will have to fill in those points without missing whatever be the context of the question. We would discuss or we would talk about those. We would have some bunch of keywords which are definitely to be written for that topic. Why? Because most of the time we miss this ambit of keywords and we make the answer unprofessional. So in that context, to maintain the professionalism in answer writing and to contextualize according to the paper, we have those bunch of keywords and we would have respective value addition for that topic. And when I say value addition for that topic, you know different formats, either data, either flowchart. Now something like governance demands a lot of flowcharts. Something like ethics demands a lot of flowcharts. Something like economy demands a lot of data. Something like geography demands a lot of maps. Something like society demands a lot of examples. Or something like social justice also demands a lot of examples. Something like environment will demand composite, that is either maps, either data, either reports, either observations. Something like ethics will demand a lot of examples, lot of jargons, lot of flowcharts. Now again, we would know at what topic what is existing with respect to value addition. That would go on. Then after that, for 15 minutes we would have in class answer writing. Now when I say 15 minutes in class answer writing, what is the agenda of writing these two questions in the class? Is that whatever we have discussed respective to the topic, you would be trying to write a PYQ again. Now we are not going to give our own questions in this. In class answer writing will happen on basis of PYQs of that respective topic. Now what is going to be our selection with respect to these PYQs? Now do you think we will randomly pick up these PYQs? No. The agenda is very clear when we are picking this PYQ. We are picking this PYQ with respect to the probable context in the mains 2026. What does that mean? Now there are some areas which can be guessed. Now people might say, sir, are you an astrologer to guess? I am not an astrologer to guess, but UPSC gives you an ambit to guess these areas are going to appear in the exam. I am not telling you that I can guess all 20 questions. I can definitely guess 10 to 11 questions out of 20 questions with respect to UPSC mains. I here mean we. And in this particular, now that's our experience again. That's our experience. Now what is going to happen when I'm writing these PYQs? I'm already getting ready for these 10-11 questions with respect to the mains examination. And please understand, if I save 1 minute in these 11 questions, I'm going to save 11 minutes extra. And I'm going to keep this 11 minutes for the remaining 9 questions. And if I'm already ready with what I'm going to write, and if I've already written something very similar, I know my marks would definitely enhance by 0.5 to 1 minimum. That means I'm going to maximize my output with minimum amount of time that is existing with respect to that particular area. Now for suppose this year we can expect a question on communalism at any cost. If it is missing in GS1, we can see it definitely as part of anthropology paper 2 is what is my expectation. Now what is the basis? We would know what is the cycle that is fundamentally followed by UPSC. Now you might say, sir, after looking at 2026 paper also, are you guessing the paper? Yes. Why? Because it is mains and it will operate within the ambit of the main syllabus. And any given day, I am not telling you the exact question, but I am telling you the topic on which we are going to have a question. That we would write for 15 minutes and the remaining 15 minutes we would explain. Now explain here is not, our focus is not on content explanation, our focus is on structure explanation. What kind of intros could have been brought in, what kind of micro structuring could have been brought in, what kind of conclusions could have been brought in. One important aspect which I have not seen this being focused anywhere in the country, I am being very open, it has not been focused anywhere in the country with respect to alignment of the answer. This is the most underrated player which nobody has spoken about alignment. Now when I say alignment of the answer, people might be perplex, sir, what is alignment? Now, is it that writing it in straight line, writing it in points, writing it in paragraph? I am talking about what proportion of my page is given to what proportion of the question. What is the first aspect that you have to understand? You know, every question will have number of parts. Number of parts means, for suppose if I am saying there are n number of parts, if it is a 10 marker, each part would have 10 by n. If it is a 15 marker, each part would have 15 by n marks which are present for that particular part. Now, for suppose if I am saying there are 2 parts in a 10 marker, each part will have 5 marks. We fail to understand that. Now, this part and the proportion will determine what is the proportion of the page I am going to give. Now, just imagine if there are 2 parts in a 10 marker, and if I am having, I know 2 pages available. If I have the question here, now just imagine you have written 1 part up to this. Now, how much page is remaining for me? Half. But what was the proportion? Half of the total question. So that means first part I should have stopped here or maximum here, and the second part I should have definitely started here. Now, sir, will I lose marks because of this? Absolutely yes. Why? Because for me, space, number of parts, mark allocation is proportionate. That means if whatever I am writing here will contain 5 marks, whatever I am writing here will contain 5 marks. Don't you think I have already lost 2.5 by utilizing the half page for first part? Yes. Now, when I have lost 2.5 marks, what am I scoring, or what is the score that I am going to get? Whatever I am going to get is only out of 7.5. Can you expect a 4.5 out of 7.5? Impossible. Now, that is where you land up between 2.5 to 3. So, please understand, alignment is very, very important aspect, and when we are discussing this particular question, we would tell you the alignment. Number of parts, which area should have what, which area should have flowchart, which area should have map, which area, how should you utilize the optimization of space. And that is what we are going to do with respect to the class structure. What are we going to have as part of it? Now, definitely after the strategic revision, you will have your own notes. 1. This is not elaborate notes, this is topic as well as exam specific notes. You would have 1 pagers for every topic. This is for the purpose of revision. You would have the respective value addition to be made for each topic. And more importantly, you would have the PYQ books with you. Right? We are very, very happy that we have launched these PYQ books with respect to GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. And one aspect that we have definitely focused in this particular PYQ books is that we have not exceeded word limit. Even if you have exceeded one word limit, it is only 10% that we have exceeded. 1. 2, we have ensured that we keep it real time. 3, for every topic we have the PYQ written, we have written by our own hand 1 answer. 1 answer of every topic has been written by us. Now, for suppose if you are seeing geography PYQ book, that means GS1, in that geography for every topic 1 question has been written by me. If you look at society, it has been written by Shilpa ma'am. If it is GS2, 1 question has been written by Vishwa sir with respect to polity. Now, we have ensured that if we are writing, what is the alignment, what is the order, what is, whether are we following point format, paragraph format, what is the nature of value addition, we have ensured to give you a real-time understanding, not about the typing culture but about writing culture. So you would also get these PYQ books as part of this particular course. And more importantly, you would get clarity on what is MAINS. Now, before I end this session and open the session for questions, many of you might question me, sir, all these are relevant for MAINS 2026. But why are you pulling us into this? Especially those targeting MAINS 2027. Sir, ఇది అన్యాయం సార్, మాకు అసలు సంబంధమే లేదు, మా గురించి ఎందుకు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు అసలు? Now, please understand that after prelims 2026, what people started doing is people started preparing for prelims from June. Right? I should not say that is funny, but I should rather say it is a very poor strategy. Now, my question to all of the candidates who cannot make it into prelims 2026 but will have to write the prelims 2027 is, what is the basis that we are going to get the service? Means. One. Now, when you go back and refer to, now not only you, my dear, my experience says, my understanding says, my interaction says, that my circles say, all of these people are very clear. One thing is common among all of these people who have succeeded this exam. They have definitely done things on long term. They have definitely done things on integrated basis. Integrated ante degree with civil avi kadamma. Integrated basis here fundamentally means integrating both prelims and mains. Sir, what will I do? What will I do by preparing for mains in August 2027, in June 2026? But please understand, if you have to be confident when you are writing in August 2027, you should have done certain basic aspects in June 2026 at any cost. At any cost, there is no doubt at all, if you keep it intact. Because what has happened with respect to the question paper of prelims examination, you see, the statements were also resembling some aspects of mains. You see, they were long, they were lengthy. Why were we not able to read the paper? Because we are not used to the preparation of mains examination. We were only thinking that some 4 options will come, we will tick, we will go. Right? That was not happening. That is not the case. Now, I am not questioning UPSC, my dear. I am nobody to question UPSC, or I am not questioning somebody with respect to the aspirants. Now, my fundamental aspect is, I believe in something, and I believe in a very, very simple strategy, that I cannot play badminton by standing in a volleyball court, and cannot complain and say that the height of the net is too much for me to play badminton. My dear, you are already standing in volleyball court, so you will have to play accordingly. And for us, civil services and succeeding this exam will demand an element of long-term approach. Let's not be carried by the aspects of prelims 2026. It is clearing, not written, doesn't matter. Are we targeting 2027? If somebody who is targeting 2027, I would say your mains preparation should start today. When I say that your mains preparation should start today, your notes has to be ready. Your PYQs have to be ready. Your value addition has to be ready. Your revisions have to be ready. More importantly, once you have done all of this, your execution has to be ready. For all of these candidates, we have started something called as Mission Mains. Mission Mains 2027. Now, for all of these candidates, we have strategic revision for Mains 2026. You would have same classes. All those things which will happen with strategic revision will also happen with mains, Mission Mains 2027. Now, once what happens is, if these people are going to write their simulation somewhere in the first week of August, you would also have your midterm assessment in the August. And slowly what happens, you would have approximately some 15 days of revision, and you would have your weekly tests starting. Now, when I say weekly test, it's going to be sectional tests. 3 tests for every paper. Now, if I have to just show you that schedule. Now, there is going to be something like midterm assessment by August first week, where somebody who is having strategic revision will have their simulator on 7th, 8th and 9th. That means they are going to practice, they are going to write those. And for somebody who is going to target next year, you would have your midterm assessment writing the simulation, and you would have your weekly test starting, which is in the form of sectional test, starting from 16th August, going on till 1st November. Till that, you would have completed all of your 4 papers. And after that, a 10-15 days of revision break, and you would have finished the whole of your mains by 15th November. Now, once you have finished mains by 15th November, 10-15 days of revision of optional, whatever is remaining, and you'll slowly transition to prelims examination for somebody targeting 2027. Right? So, the things, whatever we are doing here is we are doing it on behalf of you. So that, now again, we are not going for passive learning in this process. For us, everything is active learning. Now, passive learning could have been just like where many people follow that they say it is a smart strategy and they'll give you 400 pages for disaster management. Now, if they give you 400 pages for disaster management and say this is comprehensive note, so read this. It is not humanly possible. They give you 800 pages for ethics, 600 pages for internal security. Now, and say this is very comprehensive notes, and please understand, my dear, please get over this PDF culture. Please get over this PDF culture. We are not here to get trained to become typists. No, all due respects. We are here to become civil servants at the any cost. And what is the nature of the exam? Pen and paper, which is physical. If you are making notes in your tabs, fine, but write. Now, people say easy note, or people say that they will drag. Okay, you drag that content and keep, but my simple understanding is when you're dragging and keeping also, ensure that you will have to read it by the end of the day. And you will have to revise, because if my notes is going to exceed 250 pages for each paper, when can I revise that? When can I revise that? So my target is going to be maximum 250 pages for each paper. That means all for ethics anyway will only be 100 pages. It cannot be more. Approximately 700 pages for all of my 4 papers, not subjects. And then from there, what happens? You have your primary notes, secondary notes, and then slowly, when you are moving to the last cycle of the revision for mains examination, you will have your tertiary notes, which is extremely crisp, which can be revised within 1 hour or 2 hours. That's going to be the simple strategy. And what is primary notes? What is secondary notes? We would majorly be focusing on secondary notes. What is going to be done from your side? You will make primary notes on the basis of the secondary notes and the directions that we give you. And you will also, just before the examination, you will make your tertiary notes, which is the 20-30 pages for each paper, which I can sit and revise for 1 hour before the exam. Now, unless and until I keep these things clear, my mains examination is not going to be easy. So, what are we going to do in strategic revision? The name is very apt. Strategic for a reason, because we don't want to overload you with content. Now, it's easy for us, my dear. Now, ChatGPT is there. Yes. Now, don't you think most of the people who are delivering lectures, the business has become very easy? Now, I think I have an experience of teaching for almost 8-9 years by now. Now, what was then, what is today? We used to sit and prepare. Now, every day we used to get up, prepare, and what used to happen? We used to deliver a lecture. Now, even till today, now I don't believe in those PDF cultures at any cost. We sit and prepare, come directly deliver, because that is the nature of the exam. Now, just imagine, I am a lethargic person. Now, what do? Give me a crisp notes on urbanization using ChatGPT. I'll generate something without hallucinating and extracting the content from. I'll give some prompt. I don't think my business is easy. We are not going to do that. Now, what can I do? I will bring all the notes from the world. I'll feed it to ChatGPT and say, give me concise notes for GS1. Now, you have to understand machine has certain issues. Now, what has happened is outsourcing the work to ChatGPT today, or outsourcing work to this generative AI, has been very easy. We don't do that. We sit and write, we sit and do what is supposed to be delivered to the student. Because at the end of the day, who is evaluating my paper? It is human being, not the machine. Who is setting the paper? It is human being, not the machine. who is writing the exam? It is human being, not the machine. I believe chat GPT and technology should be an augmentative mechanism rather than alternative mechanism. Now I can tomorrow come and say that, now do you think we have done this book using chat GPT? No, my dear, months and months of time have gone into it. And people have gone for revision, some 3-4 rounds of ransacking has happened. Now we could have done something, that we could have compiled all the answers. Now where PYQ answers are available everywhere, I could have taken all of those, right? Some X material, Y material, Z material, that will be around 500, 600 pages. I would have extracted all of those and given to chat GPT. Give me a fantastic answer on this question. I would have got fantastic answer, but is it practical answer? Is it something which I can write in the exam? These aspects we have definitely ensured in this particular book. That what is the constraint of an aspirant and what is the way to address that constraint is what is human brain thinking, and we have done that. And ma'am was talking about emotional intelligence, right? Because all of us people, now when I have to talk about the team, we have Shilpa ma'am, she's a UPSC ranker. I am going to handle, right? I am a UPSC ranker as well as APPSC group 1 ranker and multiple interviews. We have Ashish, again UPSC ranker. We have Shashank, again UPSC ranker. We have Ashray sir, who has given multiple interviews. We have Pasha sir, with respect to his experience in economy, right? He is the person with respect to his experience on economy. Then you have Srinivas, who is going to handle history, and he has given 5 UPSC interviews. And Ranjit, UPSC ranker, who is going to deal IR. Now, I would say I can definitely vouch for this program because all of us have been in the process. All of us have been in the process. We have 5 rankers in this program. One is Shilpa ma'am, one is Ranjit, the other one is Shashank, the other one is Ashish, the one is me. 5 rankers, and other people have given multiple civil services interviews and experience, the man of experience, that is Pasha sir. Now what more can I have with respect to a particular team? And when it comes to the execution, when it comes to the delivery, we have been doing it for last 3 years and we will again deliver it for 4th year. We are very confident. We know that. So what is the fundamental takeaway is, take the help of the machine, but please believe in human beings who have undergone this particular process and ensure that your mains preparation is more practical and more doable. At the end of the day, can I sit and do something 1 hour before the exam? We will get you ready for that, depending upon what is your takeaway from this particular course, right? So this is from our side. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to address those questions. Any questions? Anything that you want me to clarify? Online, you can also type if you have some questions. In layer. Fee structure, for mains we're giving free, no? Yes.
And as it starts by 11th of June, where probably we may not get this results of that.
See, probably in that particular context, we would look at this course with respect to provisional key. We would ask for, because we know somebody who is scoring above 75 or 80 would definitely have a fair chance with respect to clearing. So that aspect, I think, will be conveyed. That aspect we will definitely look into it. Sir, 20, can I appear next year 27 PCM? PCM 2026 batch, sir, can I appear next year? Yes. For somebody who is doing their PCM now and planning to appear next year, you can appear next year.
So in general, as the session goes till 2.5 hours, we probably while preparing for mains, we event the slot in such a way GS goes for some 4 like hours. So how will this 2.5 hours could complement the rest of 2 hours.
See, now for suppose if I have to sit and consolidate things upon one particular topic, roughly I guess it would take around 4 hours, 5 hours, because if I have to address PYQs, if I have to address probable dimension, now what is going to happen is something that you would go for 4-5 hours will be done in 2 hours, and whatever extrapolated thinking that's going to happen will be done from our side. Now, why do we say that you should believe in our extrapolated thinking? Because we have done it many times, and all of us know, because all of us have written mains multiple times, cleared mains multiple times, so we definitely know what could be a probable stretch from that particular topic. So, one, we would look at the linear aspects. Two, we would look at the tangential aspects. Three, we would also look at the probable peripheral aspects. And I don't think an individual sitting and preparing can do all three at a time. So we would do all three at a time in the course. That would be taken care.
So one last question, complete
2 to 4:30. The reason for keeping 2 to 4:30 is that is the most lethargic time for all of us. Right now, especially somebody who is preparing for mains, we start our day early. Now, I cannot afford to start my day at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock when I'm preparing for mains. I start my day at 6:30. Right, so afternoon slot, now I would be saggy, and now that means technically by 1 o'clock, by my lunch session, I would have finished at least 6 hours of my studies, 5-6 hours of my studies. Now 2 to 4 is generally where we take something called as power nap, or 2 గంటలు పడుకుంటే అది పవర్ నాప్ అనకూడదు, అది వేరే విషయం. కానీ బట్ we have ensured that to maintain that momentum between 2 to 4:30, and you can probably split your day as morning shift for optional and afternoon shift for GS. You can straight away carry on whatever you have done not till 4:30. You can go sit and revise by 6, then probably take half an hour break, finish your dinner, then again do the additional aspects of that particular section. That would be taken. How much writing practice per day is required? Precise. Now, my dear, this question is very abstract. How much writing practice do I require when I have to complete a paper? Now, what I used to do was write 1,000 questions before entering mains hall. Right now, when I say writing 1,000 questions before entering mains hall, now that was suitable to me. Now, what I used to do, probably 20 days before the examination, I used to go for a simulation for writing 3 tests per day for 2 days continuously. इसका मतलब क्या चल रहा है? In 2 days I have written 6 tests, which is for 3 hours. That means 18 hours writing for 2 days. Because I know that I would get saggy and I would get tired by the time I write ethics. And if I had to build my endurance, that is what is my practice that I used to do. Adi naku. Or each one of us will definitely have different talent set, different strategy set. Now, there is no benchmark that this is good, this is bad. But what I can definitely tell you before you enter exam hall to complete the paper, I would say you could have written probably something like 12 tests. Now, why am I putting this number of 12 tests? 12 tests preferably, again, full length, for somebody who is planning to write mains this year. Now, why I would say this particular aspect is very simple, my dear. When I go for sectional tests now, just before mains, it doesn't make any sense to me, because in mains I need switching. Now I will have to switch from history to geography, geography to society. Now again, now we will discuss a different strategy when we are going to have free answer writing sessions for 3 days, that is 8th, 9th and 10th. Now there I would also tell you the way of attempting each paper. Why? Because it's important. Now when I am writing GS1, I will not start with history. I'll start with geography. Then go to geography. I'll start with geography of what? 15 marker. Then go write what question number 4 to 8 is always, or question number 4 to 7 is always geography. Write those, shift to 10 marker, 15 marker geography, there write geography, then shift to 15 marker society, come back and write 10 marker society. and write 15 marker history. Then again in the last half an hour I'll write the first 3 questions of history. Now why am I doing this? I'm finishing geography at one set, society at one set, history at one set. That is again, now this cannot happen directly in the exam hall. You will have to practice your simulation. Some people will write 15 markers first and then go to 10 markers. Now my problem was I could not switch so fast. And when I was switching, I was missing in the first question of the next subject, I was missing the quality. So in that particular context, I was wasting my time. There was an issue that I could leave some 10 marker or that when I was writing my test. So one thing that I adapted was cluster it accordingly. Now if I'm writing GS3, I will go first start my paper with internal security because it's 50 marks. I would ensure that I finish my GS3 paper or this internal security questions in 30 minutes. 4 questions, straightforward questions will be there, 30 minutes you can finish because whole of that momentum is maintained. Now can I do this with GS2? GS2 I cannot differentiate much except IR because my governance quality will converge. So there is no hard and fast rule here. What I would tell you, let writing not appear new in the exam hall, that's all. And when I start, the thought will have an inertia, the writing will have an inertia, let that be broken before you enter the exam hall. So that is a good practice which breaks all the inertia that you have to write. So there is nothing like write 1000 questions and go, write 500 questions and go, write 600 questions and go. Whatever breaks it, do it. But definitely writing all the PYQs before you enter the exam hall is mandatory. That's important. There is no alternative to that practice any given day. A free session, free answer writing is available online also, my dear. For somebody who is attending online also, you will have. Right? Now, when it comes to this, one area which is going to be different is AP or TG, whatever. I don't see any murmurs on TG, but I would only see about AP because it's going to be coming soon. So for somebody who is targeting APPSC, I would say focus on APPSC with optional. That would be a better strategy. Right? Now, after that, will you shift back to UPSC? Is your choice. But can I mix both? Kichide ayipodhi. That's right. No preparation. Preparation. Dates for free answer writing is 8th, 9th and 10th. We would have those sessions at Ashok Nagar branch. So there we would have 8th, 9th, 10th, we have those sessions. Any other? 11 to 1. 11 to 1. Any other? Nothing? All good? Right. So all the best for your result, for your mains, for your course, preparation, writing, strategy, future, everything, all the best. Right. Hope to see you on 8th for those answer writing sessions. Thank you.